We've worked on a huge number of transactions over the last few years. We find that they usually take, on average, at least 9 months to successfully close from the point at which we engage them, sometimes as long as 2 or 3 years. I think there's a number of interesting examples. So one example might be a company in Tanzania in the healthcare space. The entrepreneur had raised a bit of outside investment before, but had felt quite burned by the relationship, and so was really distrustful of outside investors. And so our role there was really to be both an honest broker between the new investors and this company, and also be the trusted advisor, so that the CEO felt that there was someone in their corner who was negotiating on their behalf and had the necessary expertise. So we were able to walk them through a process of the negotiation of a term sheet, the negotiation of the ultimate shareholding agreements that resulted in a very significant investment into that company that's now continuing to expand, not just within the country, but throughout the region, and also provide better health care to consumers. So another interesting example of investment facilitation is one that we did in Mali, where there was interest in shea butter processing plant. And we helped forge a partnership between a local company that was actually a battery manufacturer, but had some excess capital to invest, another local company that was already in the shea business, but quite small scale, a bank that was operating in the country, an outside investment firm, and then a local impact investor that was actually the spin-out of a mining company. So all different sources of capital, all with different objectives, but coming together to build this shea processing plant, which was really the first significant one in the country. And so our role in that transaction was helping steer all those relationships together, helping build those framework agreements, and also do a lot of the underlying due diligence and investment research to show that this was a viable opportunity, that it could make the return on the investment that everyone wanted, and to lay out the business plan for how it could actually be done.
USAID Mali has had a 3-year relationship with CrossBoundary from the United States, an advisory and business services company that works out of the East Coast. And we had this cooperative agreement because we found the markets in Mali to be very fractured and very difficult for outside investors to understand. And there are outside investors who would like to bring new capital and foreign direct investment into Mali. And we found that by partnering with CrossBoundary, we were able to help these investors actually reach the deals and make the kinds of investments that they wanted to make. And that, of course, helps to support the local market and also build the local market.
So another example of investment facilitation that I like to use is we started working with a Dutch impact investor, so based in the Netherlands, that already had a mandate to invest in Francophone West Africa, but had never invested in Mali before, had never been even to Mali before. But with our team on the ground, we were able to surface a number of opportunities that were of interest to them, bring them into the country for their first trip, do a lot of the legwork on these investments and the due diligence process between each of their trips, so they didn't have to establish a new office there, they didn't have to build out their own permanent team there. They could rely on us. And now that company, or now that investor, has made 3 investments in Mali, which is a significant portion of the total investment activity in the country, and they're looking at a 4th. So we think this is a great example of how, if you can break down some of those costs for someone to pioneer into the market, once you have that investor in the market, it becomes easier and easier for them to do the next transaction.
There are a limited number of SMEs that are scalable actually in Western Africa. So it's very important for coordinated investment management to work together with companies like CrossBoundary that are helping us in creating a good pipeline, but also helping the SMEs over there in order to be successful and have access to finance. So for us, it's really important to have good cooperations with intermediaries like CrossBoundaries, and we invest quite some energy in doing so.